MMA scraps is why most shows tap out then cry. We the ones like 'em now at the end of the bout with our hands to the.
Nice to have you back, brother.
Come on, guys.
Let's talk about a couple things. Number one, it's been a while since we've seen you in the cage. Your layoff is well known for your injury. Can you kind of tell us, have you been going stir crazy all that time, or have you just been kind of planting the seed that you wanted to fight in Boston all this time and the wait is worth it?
I definitely think the wait's worth it. I told him that I would rather wait, rather than, I could have probably fought in like April or something like that and tried to, have my cake and eat too. But instead, I thought, I'll wait. I'll fight for sure in Boston. I don't want to, risk anything. And, it really is all worth it. I didn't want to really want to go and put that in jeopardy.
How excited are you to be fighting in your hometown, your home state?
Oh, I'm so excited. It's been a couple of years. I think the last time I fought here was like 2006. And I think unlike a lot of the other guys that are fighting, on the Boston card that are from here, I had a lot of fights around here. I think Kenny had a couple. Marcus had a few actually, but I've had a lot of fights. In fact, I had 20 fights here, as opposed to the other guys that had maybe a handful. So I'm pumped to be able to fight back in front of a hometown crowd. Usually when I fight, I'll have like roughly like 100 people that'll fly out to wherever, Tampa, Vegas, Omaha. Wherever I fight, I have a lot of people. So I'm really happy that, they can all come to the fight without having to, book airfare and book hotels and all that kind of stuff. It's nice.
Joe, there was a thread that was on the underground, and I know you pay attention to what's going on in the underground about Gabe Rudiger. Are you surprised at all that Gabe Rudiger's back in the UFC and that he's your opponent for this? And do you think that thread on the underground had anything to do with him being back?
I definitely think it had something to do with it. I was very surprised about it. I kind of figured that they were kind of sending a message, to everyone, just how, if you come here and you mess up, and you're not here for, what the show is for or anything like that, and, you're not being serious about things, making weight like a professional and everything like that, then, we're not going to have you back. And it's been a few years for them, so I think they made their point, and they got their message across. But I was very surprised, and I did see the thread, I did reply to it and all that kind of stuff, but, he wants to come back, and he's getting back, but it's not very good terms for him.
I would think that obviously there's a bit of disappointment on your part not being able to face Terry Edom. I'm sure you were looking forward to that. Do you think that when he comes back, there's a possibility you might, if you haven't moved too far up the ladder away from him, do you think there's a possibility you might want to get in with him, and would that be something you're interested in?
Yeah, we trained really hard, for him specifically. We worked on a lot of stuff, so I wouldn't mind if I was going to fight him, after this fight or something like that we get to kind of, put all that preparation in use. But, I just, wish the best for the guy. It's not like, oh, I was supposed to fight him, so I have some grudge match, and I really want to fight him now. If they want me to fight Terry Edom, that's cool. If they want me to fight someone else, then that's cool, too. I just hope the best for him. I know it sucks to go and get hurt, so close to a fight and have to pull out, so I just hope, quick recovery for him.
Now, Gabe has gone on a nice little win streak outside the organization, which is one of the reasons he's being brought back. And it really does show the power of the underground that, a thread can get thrown up there. And when an opening comes up, sometimes the person in the thread, I think this is not even the first time this has happened. I think McCorkle, you could almost say that about, too. What is it do you think about Gabe, since he was on your team in The Ultimate Fighter, that he brings that might be of some type of worry for you? I mean, is there anything that you're kind of concerned about with him?
Well, my analysis of Gabe is that, one, he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and he's very dangerous there. He's got great jiu-jitsu. He's from out in California, which, a lot of the fighters out in California, Gabe's been around for a long time. Jiu-jitsu is very, very strong out there. So I'm sure he's going to have, real slick jiu-jitsu. I know he's got no shortage of good training partners, things like that. I know he's been working on, like a stand-up for a long time. We're in The Ultimate Fighter. He had, a little bit better stand-up than me, but I think he's been putting a lot more time into it than I had up to that point, whereas I've really dedicated a lot of time to, to that aspect. So I think that it's going to be flipped around a little bit, whereas I'm going to have the better stand-up, and, he's going to want to put the fight on the ground. So we'll see how that goes, But I'm worried about everything, but at the same time, I'm comfortable no matter where the fight is, too.
It just seems it's an interesting matchup. I think that, if Gabe had been able to stick into the show and stick to the end, this would have been something we may have seen happen maybe at the finale or something like that. At this point, again, he did run off several wins in a row. Is this a matchup that you think is on your level, or do you kind of think, it's a last second kind of replacement? I'll take what I can get, or what's your mindset about this whole fight?
I'm just thrilled that Gabe stepped up. You know what I mean? Like, I think that when you have a lot more time to prepare, you can put a lot more analysis into it all. I'm just happy that he's stepping up. I kind of feel like I've been fighting much tougher guys than him. I felt that we're on the Ultimate Fighter, that that I was the better fighter of the two of us. But I mean, until I actually get to fight him, who am I to say? I think that next week is going to decide. And people will know. I think it'll be pretty clear cut who's better.
Now, several months ago, there was quite a bit of controversy between yourself and your brother. Obviously, he went out there and lost to Efrain Escudero. What has happened since that time? Have you guys patched things up? Is it, is he still doing his thing? What's the deal between you two now?
We get along a lot better now than we have been. Basically, I took myself out of the coach's role and I just try to be his brother.
Mm-hmm.
I see him, and we're much more friendly. Don't even talk about fighting. Don't even talk about training. And it seems to work much better that way. I think it was, I probably wasn't the best at it. He probably wasn't the best at it. Trying to be, training partners and coaches to each other and being brothers at the same time. It just didn't work out. So we just kind of, act like brothers now, and we just get along much better.
That's good to hear. That's really good to hear. Time to talk about some serious business, though. I do spend quite a bit of time on the underground, as I know you do, between your video gaming and training. I know you love the underground.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to ask the question that I think anyone on the underground would want me to ask. Why haven't you taken to the name Creepy Joe? What's the deal there?
I knew that question was coming. You know what? I can't get away from the nickname I have as is, so I'm just gonna. I can have one terrible nickname, or I could have two. I'd rather just keep everyone together. If nothing else, I think it gets people to pronounce my last name a little bit better.
True.
Because I've gotten every variation: Lauzon, Lauzon. You know what I mean? Like, there's a million ways you can say it. And I think that at least the J-Lo part gets them to at least get the low part. The first part of my last name right. But I do not think Creepy is the very best nickname. And while it may be highly accurate, I don't deny that it's accurate. I'm not like, oh yeah, I'm Creepy Joe. That's just what I want. It's the Wayne, a creepy chant erupts.
Can you just hear Buffer
right
saying
now,
that? Can you just hear
right
Buffer announcing that?
Of worst nickname in MMA, so I think I'm going to run with that.
Full of anger and rage. Welcome to the show. If you came